Marcus had lived in his house for 6 years before he noticed the door. It was behind a shelf in the basement, old wood, no handle, painted over so many times it barely looked like a door at all. His wife thought he was being paranoid when he brought it up. "It's probably just a utility closet," she said. "Leave it alone." He left it alone for 3 weeks. Then one night, around 2 a.m., he heard something on the other side of it. Not a knock, not a scratch, breathing, slow, patient, like something that had been waiting for a very long time. Marcus went back upstairs and didn't sleep. The next morning, he went to the basement with a hammer and pried the door open. Behind it was a small room, maybe 6 feet by 6 feet. No windows, no light. The floor was covered in scratch marks, deep ones, going in every direction, like something had been trying to claw its way out. In the corner, there was a mattress. It was warm. Marcus called the police. They searched the house and the surrounding property for 3 hours. They found nothing. But that night, as Marcus sat in his living room, unable to sleep, he noticed something he hadn't seen before. A small hole in the wall, at eye level. He pressed his eye against it and looked through. It looked directly into his bedroom. Marcus and his wife moved out the next morning. 6 months later, the new owners found a second door. This one was in the ceiling. Sarah had just moved to a new city for work. She didn't know the neighborhood well yet. The streets all looked the same at night. One evening, she came home late from the office, exhausted, and let herself in through the front door. She kicked off her shoes, made herself a cup of tea, sat on the couch. It was only when she reached for the remote control that she realized the remote was different. She looked around. The couch was the same color as hers. The layout of the room was the same. The kitchen was in the same place, but nothing was hers. The photos on the wall were of strangers. The books on the shelf were not her books. In her panic, she had walked into the wrong house. Same street, same building style, wrong door. She stood up immediately, grabbed her shoes, and turned to leave. That's when she heard footsteps upstairs, slow, deliberate, coming toward the staircase. Sarah did not wait to see who came down those stairs. She ran. She made it back to her own apartment, locked the door, and spent the next hour trying to calm herself down. She told herself it was nothing, just a homeowner coming downstairs. She'd simply walked into the wrong house by accident. It could happen to anyone. She almost believed it, until she checked her coat pocket and found a key. Not her key. An old, heavy iron key that she had never seen before, and attached to it a small paper tag. On the tag, in neat handwriting, were 3 words: "We saw you." When Daniel's grandmother passed away, he was the one who went to clean out her house. She had lived alone for 30 years, a quiet woman, private. He spent most of the day packing boxes, sorting through decades of accumulated life. In the afternoon, he found a shoebox in the back of her bedroom closet. Inside were photographs, hundreds of them. Most were normal, family gatherings, holidays, ordinary moments. But at the bottom of the box, there was a photograph that made Daniel sit down on the floor. It was a photo of him, taken recently. He was wearing the same jacket he'd worn last week. He was asleep in his own bed. His grandmother had been in hospice care for the last 8 months. She had not left the facility once. Daniel turned the photograph over. On the back, in his grandmother's handwriting, "He doesn't know yet. Don't tell him." Daniel called his mother immediately. There was a long silence on the other end of the line when he described the photograph. Then his mother said something that Daniel has never been able to explain. She said, "Your grandmother called me last month. She told me she'd been watching over you. I thought she meant it figuratively." The photograph was dated 3 weeks before his grandmother died. Daniel still has the photograph. He's never been able to figure out who took it, but sometimes, late at night, he hears something in his apartment that he can't explain. Not footsteps, not breathing, just the faint, unmistakable sound of a camera shutter.